Hello, Internet! Welcome to Game Theory, the show that never shies away from facing off against golden animatronic bears or eating pizza made from the meat of the victims of a serial killer. In this episode, we're gonna be solving the entirety of Five Nights at Freddy's. The full timeline video starts now.
But ain't no way you're fitting this into one video, man.
Is that even legal?
Well, this is like the first part of like however many ungodly amount of parts we need to add to this. I cannot wait to get started.
Yeah, essentially, I almost know nothing about the FNAF series, nothing useful at least, so we're putting it together. So this will be fun.
The first thing we need to establish is the fact that a lot of content from Five Nights at Freddy's takes place in separate universes, while still also being the same continuity. Similar to how Marvel does its multiverse thing, FNAF also does a very similar thing. So, I haven't been able to find a way to separate them. We can try to figure that out on the timeline, but I would like to try to fit them all in, like, I would hope to have been able to make multiple timelines on one screen, one for each actual universe, but I don't seem to be able to do that, so...
I mean, what if you just had, like, 3 tabs with 3 different timelines?
That would be too much. We'll just start with the game, like the OG game timeline, just finish this up, complete it, and then move on to, like, the next one. Which, okay. Alex, I'm gonna need your help with the Fazbear Frights books, because I haven't never read a single one of them before.
Well, I haven't read all of them either. I can always buy them while we're doing this, so... I'll go to Kindle right now and buy them all. My money.
Better get
your money. It's okay. if you need to help, I am willing to invest at least 20% of that entire total purchase.
Oh, no.
You can get all the books.
I'm getting a paycheck Friday. I'll just spend the entire paycheck on Fazbear Frights. It's okay. It's okay.
That's crazy.
Okay.
You're a good spender. You're a really good spender.
Yeah, really good at spending all of my money.
Did I just go to negative? Oh my goodness.
We were talking about how small they were, but I don't even know what's going on anymore.
Oh, but for reference, Alex,
seems to have gotten worse.
Oh.
Okay, so this zooms in, and this zooms in on the time. So we can crunch up. Okay, this is much better. This is much better.
But anyway, Alex, just, before we started the call, we're not going to be using my name.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot to establish. You are to refer to me as narrator and as Cyber. What should we refer to you as if you prefer different pronouns?
I don't even care. Pronouns? Wait a second.
So he's Cyber, and I go by narrator of pronouns. And I expect you to be able to oblige by that, or I will have to be very angry and try to cancel you on Facebook.
I don't want to be canceled, please. I don't even have a Facebook account.
You'll never get one!
No!
Alright, these are the only 4... Let's go ahead and actually get started. These are the only 4 events that I have so far. Alex, can you help me try to figure out something that goes before the Bite of 83? Because, like, as soon as I'm concerned, this seems to be, like, the absolute earliest event in the timeline. Considering, what?
I can't really remember off the top of my head, but does Charlie die and her soul goes into the puppet before the Bite of 83 or after?
Ooh, that's... It would have to be after, because Help Wanted established that Charlie came last of all the MCI victims. She was the absolute last of the 6 original dead children. Shut up, Cyber. Shut up.
You don't even know what you're talking
about. As an intellectual, I agree with him.
The death of Charlie has to come, like, if we were to assume that's true, it would have to come after 1985, or, like, during 1985. So right in between this one and this one, it would have to be here somewhere. So let's go ahead and try to 1985.
Before the Bite of 83, wouldn't there just be, like...
Go ahead and
the restaurant opens?
The missing children's incident.
Like, wouldn't we just have Fredbear's Family Diner opening before the Bite of 83 somewhere?
That is true. I should definitely put that in there as well. That's like the only thing I can think of. incident. MCI.
Kind of like the small typing noises.
You can actually hear that now?
Yeah, I can
Someone
hear that.
here for the ASMR?
Oh, you weirdo. Go somewhere else. This isn't what my channel's all about. My channel is about hard, gritty humor and a bunch of terribly, terribly timed jokes. So we're gonna put this one at the bottom of the timeline. We need to add an image to it.
Because I should get used to this.
I don't have an image for this. I'm too scared to open another tab on stream, so
So then just leave it like that. It's fine.
I really want to add images to them. Alright, well, we'll worry about it later then. So,
yeah.
Missing children's incident. There we go. Look at that. It is perfect the way that it is. And now we gotta do founding of Fredbear's. So, that, I believe, falls somewhere in between... I believe that's somewhere in 1979?
The fact that you're still building the timeline.
I'm bad with numbers, so...
I'm waiting to learn.
Alright, I think that's gonna be alright.
I'm getting super tired of hearing that calling noise. Who is calling?
Who is calling you? Who actually wants to talk to you unironically? Like, that's crazy.
Well, it's not me.
Wouldn't
It's not
be
me. My
me.
bad. It's somebody in this
Alright,
house.
so, founding of Fredbear's. This is the first, like, restaurant of the Fazbear Entertainment franchise.
Okay.
So this one contained the original Golden Freddy suit and the original Spring Bonnie suit, and those two were like the only performers.
Are you trying to explain things to me?
Yeah.
Just listen.
You know, I still realize almost about nothing. So, like, who all's running the company right now?
We'll get
Oh,
there.
oh,
We'll get there. We'll
What?
get there.
Can't I just tell him who's running the company right now?
So there are two men, right? One of them is
Right.
named William Afton. Ooh, we gotta remember
I
that.
wonder who that
And the
is. I
other
wonder who
is named Henry, no last name given.
Wait, don't we think he might be Henry Emily? Or was that disproven?
That's never
I just
confirmed.
noticed?
That's never
It was
confirmed.
never
It might be a
confirmed,
middle
but-
name of Charlie. We don't know.
There's something Emily something somewhere out there.
There's got to be someone with the last name of Emily. So,
So now we'll be like,
hold on. I almost kind of want to, like, just for the memes, put William Afton's birth date around here somewhere.
no.
Let's see. If we were to assume that he's around, I want to say, because like he has a kid here. His
Definitely
oldest
40.
kid is at least probably 16 years old. So that's 1983.
He's got to be 40 something, right?
So 83. So yeah, we're gonna assume William Afton is 40 years old. So we're gonna put this birthday at 43. Just for now. It's always subject to change.
Wait, you gotta make the text color purple. You can't.
I will change it when I get there.
Okay.
We'll get there when we get there.
We get there when we get there.
Pretty
We're
good.
gonna make it very purple.
That's
There you go.
perfect. That color looks like it's gonna go on a murderous rampage right there.
Oh yeah, we just know it is. I gotta move it to the side a little bit because it's in 1942. You know what? It's fine. He's born in the 1st of December of 1942.
He always comes back, so it doesn't matter when he started.
His first words is "I always come back."
This is his
And
second
since
reincarnation.
I always imagine Henry to be just a little bit older, I'm gonna put his birthday in 1940.
We're just guessing now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Just
mean,
stop
most
That's like
of all the
90%.
timeline is actually just speculation, so get used to it.
Literally 90% of FNAF lore is just maybe.
Probably.
Okay,
Perhaps.
There we go. I stopped coughing.
Huh?
Sorry.
Alright, Henry is born. Hooray! William Afton's is born.
So
Oh,
where are
no.
we gonna put sister location?
I'm actually glad you mentioned that because we're not there yet!
I
We'll
don't know. I
get
just
there
feel like
when
it's really important.
It will be when we get there when we get there!
Exactly.
You're so impatient. Okay. So this one
Speaking of
crunches
impatient-
it up.
Well, we have a
and
lot
this
of
one
ground to
zooms out.
cover.
Yeah, we do. Okay, so founding of Fredbear's is 1979. What could possibly happen right after that? Oh, how about the opening of the first Freddy's? Where could that possibly fall in? So
Don't
we
look at.
know that Freddy's exist during the Bite of 83, but we don't know when it opens. So we're gonna go to 1980 and say first Freddy's opens. I cannot believe I just said Fred's.
Not Freddy's anymore.
Not Freddy anymore. Are you ready for Freddy? Alright, first Freddy opens in 1980. That gives it plenty of time for the cartoon to be able to air in 1983 because people are now familiar with all the characters in the main cast. So after the Bite of 83, William Afton promises to put his son back together, which we don't see actually take action until about 2 years later. Thanks to Into the Pit, we've been able to pinpoint that the MCI most likely happens in 85. So Charlie's death happens, like, right after it. Like, it's right after everyone else. Charlie's death, we're gonna make this one, like, a light blue, and this one, like, a light red. So, yeah. Charlie's death, just right after the MCI, because she's the last. And now... Freddy's closes shortly after these deaths. The original Freddy's Pizzeria, and Fredbear's actually closes shortly after this right here. So Fredbear's closes. Should say for good, because it never comes back. Unlike William Afton.
Should we try to do this in 5 nights, just so we can say 5 nights?
Oh my gosh, that would be crazy.
No. But what about the extra
Nights
6
with narrator.
5 nights at narrator.
We gotta have a bonus night.
A secret bonus night? That's not 5, Alex. That's 6.
No, we make it only for members of the channel. You want to see the 6th bonus night? That'll be $10 a month. Don't be stingy now.
Alright, so original Freddy's closes.
So is night 1 gonna be the timeline making?
It will just be separated into multiple parts of, like, different things.
Because I'm lost.
That's okay, that's okay.
Yep. Lobro's drowning in a sea of indecision and confusion right now.
Alright, so shortly after the Bite of 83, Fredbear's closes for good. Obviously, I think we can tell why. Markiplier was there, and he's Asian.
Mark.
Then after that, the missing children incident happens 2 years later. William Afton lures 5 kids into the back room wearing a golden spring Bonnie. Yeah, only 5. Golden
Honestly,
spring Bonnie suit.
Bro should have gotten good, killed more.
It's important to note that he wore the spring Bonnie suit the first time. The second time is very interesting.
You mean the ball trap suit?
No, that's a different costume. We'll talk about Ball Trap when we get there, but just so you know, William Afton and Ball Trap are 2 entirely different entities.
Nobody's gonna know what you're talking about. Just
they will know. They will know.
No, they'll know who Ball Trap is. They'll know who Ball Trap is.
They will know that Pit Bonnie equals Ball Trap.
You're a kid who discovered innuendos and has never stopped saying them since.
Okay, so the original Freddy's closes. Then after that, the children end up possessing the suits because Charlie, in the form of the puppet, gives them life. So I almost kind of want to put that down as another timeline event. So I'm just going to do that. Charlie gives life to the other souls. Actually, you know, we're just going to call it Give Gifts, Gives Life, because that's just the name of the game.
Yeah.
Give gifts, give life.
And give gifts, give life is a lot catchier.
True.
It is pretty catchy.
True. That is very true. Right, so give life. In FNAF 2, there's a mini game that you can enter upon dying on rare occasions. Multiple of them exist, but the one that this one refers to is the game gives life, which is when the puppet goes around a room with dead bodies, giving at first presents to the children, hoping to kind of like ease their souls a little bit from wandering and being lost and all that. But that doesn't work. So she decides to give them new life by guiding their souls into the animatronics. They are able to possess them and create remnants. It's important to note that Charlie did not actually stuff the physical bodies into the suit. That was William's doing.
Now look at those
William
noodle
did
arms.
that.
You think she could have lifted anything with that?
Yeah, right? I mean, we see in FNAF 6 that she couldn't even lift another box.
Honestly, though,
couldn't get out.
All she did was create more vengeful animatronics.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah. Her intention was to help them, but yeah, she didn't anticipate for them to start killing people.
Me personally, I just enjoy the rest of my life as an animatronic because he always comes back. It's not like I'm gonna stop him anytime soon.
Yeah, right. Yeah, just
Exactly.
accept defeat. Like you've been defeated. You cannot beat this guy. He always comes back. You're hopeless.
We've been going for so many years now. It's not gonna happen.
You know, honestly, we're making good time.
Okay, gives life happen. Do we want to say that happens before or after Freddy's closes, the original one? It's like
not sure it really matters.
No, it does. It does, because if Charlie
we don't really
guides the souls there,
though.
then the animatronics will already start acting funky, which would get people to notice the smell and the blood and the mucus oozing from the suits, which would then get Freddy's closes after she would have to have given them life. So I believe that makes sense. Somewhat. Alright. Five Nights 2. This is like the actual first game in the timeline, taking place in November of 1987, as made evidence with the paycheck you receive at the end of the game. So, at this point, the original animatronics that the children were stuffed in were decommissioned, and they were just left in a back room, and the company would use and recycle some of their parts and help fit the toy animatronics, which is the new line, with criminal-based data, criminal detecting database. So basically the idea was that these toy animatronics would keep an eye on parents and other adult-looking figures, make sure that they didn't have a criminal record or anything. This was to help prevent another murder happening at Five Nights 2. However, since Fazbear Entertainment's technology is Garbo, William Afton does another killing spree. I want to say it happens before the events of the game. So there is a second MCI incident. So more children go missing, but they're less missing actually, because like their bodies are scattered around the place and people saw them. So
question.
Yeah. Well, no, I think people call this DCI, Dead Children's Incident.
Anyway, so
deleted children's incident.
so when we're done making the timeline, or are we gonna go back so you can explain all these events to me in order?
Well, that's kind of what we're doing right now.
We already are.
Yeah, we're explaining.
This is the earliest part of the entirety of the original game series.
You're not gonna start with explaining the bite of '83 and then Charlie's death. And
what do you mean? It's right there in the picture.
It's right there in the picture. There's no explanation. There's no explanation needed, unless you want one.
Yes, I want exactly what's happened.
So the bite of '83. You see, the Afton family had a father, a mother, and 3 kids, 2 boys and a girl. One of the oldest was a boy named Michael.
The older sibling, W.
So it's presumed that William and his wife were going through some kind of struggle. They were possibly contemplating divorce. So Michael was always stuck with his younger brother, who was a massive crybaby. Michael really hated his brother. for being like as weak and pathetic as he was. So he would always jump out and scare his brother by wearing a foxy mask, and he would actually be the crucible for the crying child, as the younger brother is called, to be so scared of the other robots. So one day, the pranking goes too far, and on the crying child's birthday party, his older brother Michael shoves him in the mouth of Fredbear. And see, that wouldn't normally be a problem if he wasn't crying so much. You see, his tears...
It set off the spring locks, didn't it?
Yep, it did. It set off the spring locks, and Fredbear's mouth clamped down shut, biting the frontal lobe off, and severely damaging the rest of his face. So...
I mean, that's just classic older sibling behavior.
Right!
You know, shove your younger sibling's head in animatronic.
Right! As an older and younger brother, as the middle child, I've experienced both ends of this stick. This is a perfectly relatable experience.
Yeah, that's exactly what you should do.
So yeah, after the bite, the kid doesn't immediately die. The crying child does not immediately die. He is actually sent to the hospital, and there he remains for an undetermined amount of time. It's presumed to be 5 nights. He said the thing!
He said it!
But he flatlines on the 5th night. And his brother makes an apology to him, saying that we are still your friends, asking the crying child if he believes that, to which he gets no answer. And
so he made a YouTube apology video.
Sorry.
Well, you're already way ahead of us. You're explaining this better than I am. It literally was a YouTube apology video.
I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said those words. I know I shoved one kid into an animatronic sound, but I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Wait,
I'm gonna now play a little song.
And when you think about it, it really wasn't that bad. It was just a simple mistake.
We all make mistakes, don't we? Let me pull out my ukulele.
Hey, calm down. Playing an A minor is literally how you got here in the first place.
We're off track, we're off track.
Yeah. So, crying child flatlines. His brother says, I'm sorry. And his father, William Afton, makes the iconic promise, I will put you back together. Which eventually leads him to murdering 5 freaking children.
Hey,
and then a 6th one just to add on top of that.
Okay, but why? Okay, so why did he kill 5 children to put them back together?
So that part is a little loose.
Just say remnant. That's all we can say.
Okay, so all you're saying is he just went on a spree.
Agony remnant, yeah.
He just went on a spree and did what he did.
Well,
yep.
You know, like, with all this haunted metal and whatnot going around with the remnant and agony, he probably thought if he killed children, he could somehow use that energy to save his own kid. Or something like that, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And
like I said, you just say remnant and that's your explanation.
Like, the way I can see it playing out is that he thought that if the cause of his child's death, the robots, might also be the solution. So he'd kill other children, stuff their bodies, their physical bodies, in the suits, trying to see what would happen.
Okay, and who's this Charlie kid?
So Charlie is Henry's daughter, William Afton's best friend and business partner for an indeterminate amount of time. So sometime after the MCI, William Afton goes to the bar, Junior's, and he drinks. He drinks a lot. He goes driving. He goes driving really fast.
He drank his grape juice and drove?
He drank his grape juice and drove.
No!
So
tragic.
It's unclear what he was doing there, but he did end up going to the original Fredbear's family diner, which means I have to move this after Charlie dies. Yep. Alright. So she dies in 85. We're gonna put this in 85. We're gonna put this in the month of... Give me the list! Put in October. Nope. Hold on, I'll get this, don't worry. That's even worse. That just... Charlie dies, gives life. Yep, children possess. Then Freddy closes. Okay. That looks alright. So, he drove drunk and angry, perhaps dissatisfied with any answers he may have gotten from the MCI. So he goes there on a rainy night, and he finds Henry's daughter locked out of the building by bullies. So the bullies just left her out in the rain, out in the cold, and the security puppet... What? I will, don't worry. Hold on. I also need to establish that after the missing children's incident happens, Henry designs the puppet. This part is gonna be so cluttered. There's so many things that happen in this point in time, and just this point in time. It's so bad. So, Henry creates the...
Or make this text black so it's easier to see. It's like everything else is the same yellowy color.
Alright, so missing children's incident. Henry creates the puppet to help protect children, and the puppet was like an early version of the toy animatronics we see later. It was built with criminal database used to help detect any kind of criminal. And
like William.
Yeah, but Henry doesn't know it's William.
I can assume. Oh, he doesn't know yet.
He doesn't know.
I was about to say. After all this, I can assume Henry and William are on good terms, but never mind.
Yeah, it's not until after Henry murks his own child that he figures out who's doing the killing.
You mean
William murks his child? Anyway,
why did they crop together? Why did they just do that?
Move the creates the puppet one. Maybe if we scooch it somewhere else, it'll unclump.
There we go. Okay. So, missing children's incident. Then Henry creates the puppet to help protect specifically his daughter, but all the other children too. She still dies because the bullies. The bullies locked her out of the building, so she was outside of the puppet's protection. And William kills Charlie there and then.
Narrator, wait. I think we should explain something. The reason she died is because the puppet couldn't get to her.
Yeah,
like the box she was in was blocked off. Did we? I feel like he was gonna ask that.
I know. What I was gonna ask was like, how did the puppet protect the children? Like, what did?
Okay, so basically, in the original Fredbears, they had the children wear different colored wristbands, and the puppet was programmed to look for children who had a green wristband. Charlie was always given a green wristband. So she was made specifically to protect Charlie, and the puppet would just be around her. It would kind of like keep her safe. It's not completely clear how the puppet would plan on protecting in the event somebody attacks. Probably just slapping them with their noodle arms. I don't know. Or maybe just pulling like a freaking Goku and Kamehamehaing. That would be fun.
That would be fun.
So yeah, that part's not really elaborated on, and that's not important. What's important is that it doesn't work. She still dies. Then she possesses the puppet.
So she's murked outside Fredbear, and then gets possesses.
She possesses the puppets because the puppet manages to make its way outside after she's died. So the puppet goes to find her because it's looking for the green wristband, and it goes to her. She's already dead. So in this super sad scene, the puppet kind of curls up with her and just kind of like dies with her in a sense.
Top 10 saddest anime deaths.
True.
Rest in peace for our brave warriors.
So after that, she swiftly begins to possess the puppet, and then she gives life to the other children who have died before her. There's only one issue, though.
So she starts putting the souls in the animatronics, essentially.
Yes. But there is one problem. One of these missing children, is quite different from the other four. This one was stuffed in the Golden Freddy costume. And the Golden Freddy one is actually a spring lock. The other ones are not. So, not only was this 5th missing child stuffed inside Fredbear, but she was killed in Fredbear using the spring locks, just like William's son.
I thought William's son was in the Golden Fredbear.
He is, but so is the other MCI kid. The Golden Freddy has two spirits.
Sure, you
They're
know,
both?
they both have the same house.
Yeah. They both have the same
both
body.
in?
They both possess the same robot.
They're
That's
ghost
strange.
roomies.
So that kind of
that makes
explains
sense.
like how Golden Freddy can appear in ghostly projections in FNAF 1 and 2, which we'll discuss a little bit later. And it also exists as a physical entity, like somewhere. So,
Okay.
after all that, the original Freddy's closes, but a new Freddy's opens, which paves the way for the new toy animatronics to come in. The puppet comes back, fully repaired, and housing the soul of Charlie. Yes.
What is Dead Children's Incident?
The Children's Incident is... This takes place in the same building as Five Nights 2.
Okay.
So this one is different from the Missing Children's Incident, because the difference is William stuffed the bodies of the children in the robots so that nobody would find them. Not even the technicians, because William himself was a technician, to an extent. So only he would know where the bodies are. The difference between the two is, in the Dead Children's Incident, William just kind of scatters their bodies all over the place for people to see.
Disrespect.
Just absolutely disrespecting and tarnishing the name of the brand that he's
Bro is
built.
Bro is an absolute madman. So I'm assuming
he's obviously Chad.
Henry and him aren't on good terms anymore now that he's killed his daughter. But
He still doesn't know that yet.
oh, okay.
Henry doesn't know that yet. He comes to learn later.
How's the relationship with Michael and his father?
Oh, William's straight up abusive.
Oh, okay. Never
Yeah,
mind.
I'm talking like
You think
belt treatment.
that's a good dad?
Well, we'll get into the specifics later, but like I can just imagine. It's not really specified, but it's assumed that belt treatment was very often, obviously emotional neglect, especially after the death of his kid, because like William would like bury himself in his work and isolate himself from his family, which also didn't help his relationship with his wife. Elizabeth.
He was a mass murderer. Didn't help either.
We gotta talk about Elizabeth. Oh man. Oh, we'll get there later. When does she die? When does Elizabeth die? Elizabeth is William Afton's daughter, one and only daughter, the third kid.
An idiot who falls for ice cream traps.
Yep.
That's just my opinion, though.
The one who was such a stupid little
one who
baby.
gets trapped in Baby, right?
Yep, Baby. Yeah. See, that's how
I know something.
So
I know
yeah,
something.
You do right now.
Sorry, for me, the robot would have to be holding out a bag of Cheeto Puffs, and I'd be like, ooh, but not an ice cream. Like, I don't know where the ice cream's been. The Cheeto Puffs are contained in a bag.
Yeah, right?
This doesn't sound sanitary.
Mm-hmm. But, like, then again, you do take ice cream machines from, like, McDonald's. Not McDonald's, sorry. Nobody takes ice cream from McDonald's.
Because they're all broken.
No, just say Culver's. I mean, I used to work there.
What's it called? The place
An ice cream
with
truck?
Froyo. It's in Books A Million.
Oh,
Yogurt Mountain?
Yogurt Mountain?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Those are dispensed in the fountains, just like ice cream, so.
Yeah, but those are cleaned out. Like, do we know if Circus Baby was cleaned out on the inside with the ice cream
Nobody
thing?
knows! That's not important!
I don't know. I feel like, as a person who used to work with ice cream a lot, I feel like it's kind of important.
Yeah, personally, I just
It's not important for the timeline.
What
That's
toppings did you offer? What flavors? What's going on there? Personally, me
Where is she
would not
putting
be
it
lured
all?
with vanilla.
Is she stuffing it all in her boy?
Yo,
No.
that random joke looks like a child, sir.
Whoa,
It's
No,
not really.
it's
She's
not
canonically
a child.
7.5 feet tall.
Chill.
That doesn't mean an adult.
Chill.
Yes, it does. Yeah, it does. Plus, it's a
Bro,
robot. It's metal. It can't age. It's mud. Okay, so Alex, I'm gonna have to pull you back in here.
allegations.
I'm gonna have to pull you in here, Alex. I need you to help me
Okay.
pinpoint when Elizabeth could possibly die.
I have no clue. I told you, I'm not going with the times.
I don't know either. Because, like,
Uh,
we can't talk about her death without first talking about the fun times at creation and then sister location. Because, like, sister location, the
Michael.
game happens after all that, so... I guess we'll put a pin in it and, like, come back to it later.
Okay.
Now
FNAF
some of the
2.
best character in the entire series, Michael, and Michael. The best character. W. Michael.
Yeah. I'm also a huge fan of Michael. He's really good.
Oh yeah, Michael's my favorite.
Oh, man.
But what about the other Michael?
Michael, he's really good too.
Michael is nice, too, but, like...
But
he's a
what
little
about
much.
Michael? What about Michael?
Michael.
What about
That's a cool
Miguel?
guy. Miguel? He's Mexican! We all hate him. He's Mexican. He would shoot you if he saw you. Guy's probably...
No,
like, he's either gonna make you a nice
offer-
taco, or he's just gonna shoot you. He's gonna pull a gun.
I can't finish this joke legally. My lawyers advised me not to finish it, so.
You got some really terrible lawyers. Okay, so dead children's incident happened. It's
better safe than
presumed
sorry.
that the dead children, like the second line of the children that William murdered, it's presumed that they possess the toy animatronics, but it's not necessarily confirmed. So that's more like speculation.
So the toy animatronics are made to look friendly, I'm assuming.
Yes. Yeah, they're actually made to look very toy-like. They're very shiny, plastic-looking. And Toy Chica, he ain't designed kid-friendly, let me tell you.
No! Clip that. Clip that.
Not like that.
Whoa.
Clip
But
that.
she's designed you friendly.
That's
Am I
crazy.
right?
It is me-friendly, for sure.
That's crazy.
No.
That's crazy.
No, I egged you on. That's my fault. My bad.
Alright,
There's a kid's soul in there.
Okay,
Add in like a toy Chica edit or something. Like mentally whip it up in your minds, everyone.
I'm just gonna add, like, the sound of, like, the clinking sound you hear from,
Hey,
like, that one
no.
video of Freddy.
No.
I will. You can't stop me. You can't stop me. I'll get my editor to do it. He does a great job with these.
Who's your editor?
My editor.
Who's your editor?
My editor. Cyber. We've reached the point of our first game that happens chronologically in the timeline. Have you seen
Let's
any
go.
gameplay of Five Nights 2 yet?
Have you seen any
I'll
gameplay
find
of
it right
Toy Chica
now.
yet?
No, shut up.
Right,
But no,
so-
I have not. You want me to go find some real quick?
No.
You can do it later. We're in the middle of a podcast. Sort of.
Not the Toy Chica
podcast-esque kind
No,
of thing.
not toy. No, not toy. Alex.
So,
Gosh,
Five
darn it.
Nights 2. It's important to note that the night guard that works in this game is Michael. Michael is now old enough to get a job. So at this point, if he is 16, which I presume in 83, he's going to be at least 20 in 87. So he's got a job now. And the reason why he gets the jobs at Freddy's is speculation, but the two most prominent theories is that he's either A, working for William, trying to like help experiment on the animatronics, study their behavior, blah blah blah, or B, he's actively trying to help the spirits that he's also noticed are trapped in the robots, but he doesn't really know how to do it, so he's just kind of spending more time with them, trying to observe them and all that. So whether he's working with
then
or
trying to
against
kill him.
William is very heavily speculated. But it's important to
Okay,
note
so
that,
what?
that Michael is the security guard in every single game in the series up till Ultimate Custom Night.
Buy Pizzeria
Okay, so-
Simulator, though. I'm not gonna bring up a whole Pizzeria Simulator discussion right now, but
Are you actually going to
But we're
suggest to me that Michael is not the protagonist of Pizza Sim?
I'm not trying to. You know how much I love
Anyway,
Michael.
So
I want to believe he's the protagonist of
Alright,
everything.
hold on, Cyber has a question. What?
what do you believe? Like, do you think he was working with William at this point or not?
I think when it comes to taking into consideration that... So you know how Five Nights at Freddy's has 5 nights, a secret 6th night, and a 7th night that lets you like fully customize the animatronic behavior. So you can
Yes.
determine how aggressive every individual character is. That night is actually canonized And your paycheck you receive at the end of that night tells you are fired for tampering with animatronics. So it is explicitly explained that Michael has been messing with these guys. So my guess is because of that, I think he's working with William.
So he's not the hero.
I
at this
actually think
point.
he was the good guy, and he was just messing with him to help. But
well, you gotta
know
remember,
me, I'm a big Michael stan.
You gotta remember, Michael does have good intentions, but like he's under the control of his father at that point. Because it's important to note, and I'm gonna add an event here. William starts using.
I saw the first 3 letters of Nightmare, and I was getting a little worried.
This is actually a thing that happens.
What is that?
It's nightmare gas. What do you... Cyber, why are you asking? It's nightmare gas. What do you think it is? It makes you have superpowers?
We're just gonna put it right here for now.
Does it cause food to spawn in random? Actually, considering
Okay,
that one
you have nightmares, but what's that bad about nightmares?
So the thing about nightmare gas is that William has created this formula for reasons, and by means of,
Let's just say remnant, because why not?
Remnant. Okay.
Remnant.
What's important is that William has, at this point, before any of the games have taken place, he has utilized this special gas that instills hallucinations into his own son in order to make him fearful and obedient.
Are we going to mention the illusion discs, too?
That may have also heavily contributed to that. We will mention it when it comes around closer to Five Nights 4, which happens later, so don't worry.
Okay, so we get to the dead children.
So
he's alright. So he's obeying Michael at this point.
No, Michael is obeying William.
Oh no, I'm sorry. Yeah, my bad. Just names.
So at this point, Michael starts spending all his nights, essentially kind of playing Five Nights at Freddy's 4, but the actual events of Five Nights at Freddy's 4, as shown to us, have not happened yet. That happens after 2. I believe that's actually the next game in the timeline. So we'll get there when we get there.
So what do you mean he's playing it without playing it?
So the actual game itself happens after Five Nights 2, but it has to be, like, it has to have started. So the Five Nights 4 is more like a set of memories that he's experiencing from his traumatic past involving the actual
I get it.
nightmare gas that his father used on him.
Okay, I got you. Thank you. So FNAF 2, we left off on how he's obviously the security guard, just rather working for Afton or not at this point. And either way, the animatronics are still against him.
Yes, because it's important to note that Michael looks exactly like his father. Like, it is uncanny. It is established at least twice throughout the game series. He looks exactly like his father. And they both look exactly like Rick Astley. So take that how you will.
Does this mean that Rick Astley is like a
They actually look like Chris Pratt because he stars in everything.
That's true. That's true. They all look like Chris Pratt too.
That's Freddy's starring Chris Pratt as everyone.
As everybody.
Even the girls.
As Freddy. Animal.
No.
Chris Pratt is Susie's dog.
Chris Pratt's ball trap.
Chris Pratt is ball trap. That is the sentence of the night.
That is the best sentence I've ever heard.
Alright, so FNAF 2 happens. Let's see. We need to establish that Michael begins tampering with animatronics. So Michael tampers, gets fired for reasons, tampering and odor.
Huh?
Imagine odor wouldn't be me.
What odor?
This will become important later. We may actually have to put sister location before this.
Yeah. I was gonna say, because I really feel like it should be put before here.
Yeah.
The odor just seems like a really significant comment.
We'll put another pin in that. So put
Elizabeth
and odor as 2 different tags. what happens after this. So after Five Nights at Freddy's 2, Tempers. I think we're about ready to jump into FNAF 1 territory. Because, like, nothing happens between this time and this time. As far as I'm concerned. Unless, Alex, you want to interject and pull something
I
out of
can't
your
really
noggin.
think of anything, honestly.
So you're telling me FNAF 1 happens after FNAF 2?
Yeah.
I can't even count to 2. Now you expect me to count backwards?
Yes. Count to
Yeah.
negative 2,000. Right now,
Count
go.
to the nearest irrational number.
Okay, so
Count
negative
down from
1.
1,000 by 7 each time.
1, 2, skip a few, 99, 100.
Nice. Very good. I'm clapping
He's
for you
smart.
right now. I don't know if you
So
can hear
smart.
this. I don't know why my
I couldn't-
microphone doesn't pick up my clapping sound.
Yeah, I tried to. It didn't work very well, at
I
least.
don't know.
Hey, let's see.
I don't know why my microphone is so picky. Because, like, sometimes I talk in, like, these eccentric voices, and my microphone doesn't pick it up. Like, I can see it in Discord, and I can see it in my little bar there in OBS.
Okay,
It doesn't pick up my audio, and I don't know why.
my mic, which same brand as yours, we've established,
Yeah.
is actually does pick up all that stuff. I just have to turn the sensitivity up decently high for
I
that.
turned
And
the
Discord,
sensitivity on mine up too, but it's still very picky.
that and Discord just doesn't pick things like that up. Like, even if you have a mic that is
Mhm.
sensitive to noise, Discord will cancel that.
That does track. That does track.
Anyway,
Okay, so-
FNAF 1.
Horror. All right, so
Alex,
many
enough of that
years
before we get
later,
copyrighted.
You know, we
Michael
had to.
Afton gets another job at a new Freddy's that's opened up that brings back the older models
W. Michael.
from this one and from the original Freddy's, the ones that the children were originally stuffed in. So the MCI were stuffed in these animatronics. The animatronics were moved to this one. And now that this one is closed down, the toy animatronics are scrapped, so they are no longer players in this series.
What happened to the souls in them?
They're still there.
Hey,
presumably.
narrator.
Yeah.
Do you remember when that one minigame where you go around and you see William Appleton taking apart all the animatronics happens? Because I can't remember when.
That definitely happens after Five Nights 1. We'll get there. Right, so as I was saying, the old animatronics came from the original Freddy's. They were moved to this one, and now they are taken to this one and refurbished. So this Freddy right here, this one that you're seeing right here, had a dead child stuffed inside of it.
Lovely.
Right?
It doesn't look a day over 10.
Some people actually have pointed out that you could see a faint handprint on Freddy's chest.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Like, that was something that they discovered a long time ago, and that just still tracks perfectly. So
And also, wasn't there some other thing where there was like a hand on the face too?
Maybe? I don't know where it would be. I don't see it on here because the
What?
resolution is so
Right
dog
side, maybe?
water.
It was probably like on the right side of the face by the eye, but I can't see it in this picture, so.
I can.
Yeah,
I think
it's
I
so
can do
dark.
that.
We'll get
Oh,
somebody
well.
to look at it later.
It doesn't matter if that's true or not, who cares?
Yeah, we already know
Remnant.
that this
I'll
is the
say
same
Remnant.
Freddy that a dead child was stuffed inside of. Alright,
So this
so
is
Someone-
this is the first Freddy that children were stuff of.
yep, this is the original Freddy. They've just broken him down and then they refurbished him, and now he's still
Somehow-
alive and cooking 10 years later.
Okay, so question.
Yes.
Whose idea was it to keep the child in there?
Well, nobody discovered them.
You're
So
telling me they were
William
first-
Afton was the one who stuffed their bodies in there. Their bodies rotted over time, essentially turning to dust.
William's a genius.
Yep, nobody could ever find him because he's the only one that would check in the suits.
Got you.
And he's also a genius for other reasons that we aren't going to discuss right now.
Not yet, but just Remnant. Just no.
Remnant. Remnant.
Okay.
I don't
FNAF 1
see
happens.
this remnant suite.
Michael gets another job, presumably under the fact that William told him to. He studies the robot's behavior yet again. He survives all 5 nights, but the phone guy who did this exact same job a week earlier
Phone guy.
did not. He died. So I'm going to go ahead and put
What?
phone guy's death
How is- wait.
right before here.
Memory of a hero. Hello?
How
Hello,
did-
hello.
how-
Rest in peace.
But he's talking to you in the first game.
Yeah,
Yes.
on a recorded phone.
Pre-recorded messages.
Ah.
So he pre-recorded his experience the week before,
Like
and
employee
then
training
he
video.
dies. So you get to listen to his death in the actual game.
Did we ever really figure out who killed him? I know we had like a bunch of theories bouncing around, but
Golden Freddy probably, because you hear his sound at the end of the recording, and the fact that night 5 it is just Golden Freddy reading some kind of book about death backwards, the audio. So I think it's pretty well established to be Golden Freddy.
Why'd they kill Phone Guy?
Because they didn't like him. They don't like adults. It's further explained in the movie.
Wouldn't be me. I'd be a child.
I would just straight up be the killer. Like, frick them kids, man.
No!
I would be the one who kills them.
No, hear me out. If he's the killer, he always comes back.
They always come back.
Yeah, but if you're the kids, you also come back whether you like it or not.
Always come back. It doesn't matter. They can't put me down. I always come back.
I'll just become Michael. That's the best choice.
I guess this leaves me as the kid.
W Michael, W Michael.
W Michael. I get to abuse you.
Put that on my grave. W Michael.
Alright, noted. Alright, so FNAF 1 takes place. Michael gets fired for, again, on night 7 for... No way.
So how are we gonna do sister location
I hate
now?
you too.
We will get there when we get there. You're so impatient. Does anybody ever tell you that?
Yes, but I like the Michael lore.
Respectable. Alright, Michael gets fired.
Imagine firing W Michael.
What happens after that? So Michael gets fired. Tempering odor. Oh yeah. I remember.
While you timeline that, I'm gonna get some water so I don't start coughing again.
You and your liquid obsession.
What?
You heard me.
Take it back.
Did you just say take it back?
Yes, I did.
Roll it back.
Nah, I'd win.
You know what?
You'll never make me take it back.
See you later. I'll be right back.
No, we're not recording right now.
Oh no, we are recording now.
Oh, we are?
Yeah, I just hit the button.
Well, it's fine. We'll just take that out.
Yeah.
You told me you stopped. No, you're gonna... Are you looking in the mirror right now? You're gonna summon him. You're gonna summon him!
I will be summoned.
I want to see you here.
What?
I want to see my boy.
Whoa.
Okay. Let's go back to this.
Alright, so, actually, William dismantles the animatronics. He does this by luring them all. So, after Michael gets fired, William kind of like punishes him for not being able to get the job done, right? So he goes in there and he does it himself. But it's not enough to just watch the animatronics during the night. He has to do something about it. So, what he does is, stay with me, Alex. If you have anything to say, just save it till I'm done. So, how he does it is, William Afton dons the Golden Freddy costume and lures all the animatronics to the safe room, one by one. Also, I should have established the safe rooms. Cyber. The safe rooms are these super secret little rooms hidden in every single pizzeria. They are invisible to all cameras, and all patrons are not allowed to know the location of this. The only people who can know about it are some of the high-ranking employees. So the safe room is where some of the people would go in like some kind of disaster, some kind of like hurricane event, who knows. I mean, they lived in Utah. Hurricanes happen there a lot. And that would also be where any old performers would go to bleed out if the spring locks were to go off. That is a very interesting detail mentioned in Five Nights 3. They would literally be instructed by the company to go in there and bleed out as to not scare guests. So, these rooms are usually sealed off, and completely hidden. So William has to unseal the wall because he knows where it is. Michael does not. And he lures the animatronics there because they cannot physically enter that room because their pathfinding programming does not allow them to go into that room. So they physically cannot go in there, even possessed. So he uses it as a safe space, and he jumps the animatronics one by one, completely dismantling them with his bare freaking hands like a Chad.
Man.
Absolutely.
So, yeah. He does that one by one, and...
I would not expect any less from Spring Daddy.
Yo, hold on.
And right after that happens, all the animatronics gather together, and William gets spring locked. This is the point in time in which he gets in the golden Bonnie suit to protect himself. And because the building is like so old and there's like water dripping down, as well as his haste to put on this suit because it's usually a tedious process, but he had to do this really fast. So because of that, the spring locks fail, clamping all over his body, piercing every single fiber of flesh that he has, and he's just left to bleed on the floor while the ghosts of the children kind of fade away. They're not at rest, but they just fade away. So William is then sealed off in this room for 30 years, still alive.
How?
Remnant.
What?
Don't worry
Remnant.
about it.
It's like a glue that you use on everything. We just say remnant.
Yeah, remnant. It's like that one meme of Phil adding the flex tape to that one water cylinder.
So
FNAF theory flex tape?
Yeah.
No.
It is remnant.
I mean, it could be like glue because remnant.
I guess?
But that's not to say agony.
Yeah, agony's a different thing. We'll talk about that way later. That becomes more important in the book series, so we don't have to worry about agony as much here. So William dismantles the animatronics, gets spring locked. There's something else I had to mention before we go any further. What was it? Obviously, we need to go back and try to pinpoint Elizabeth's death, which... So if Five Nights 2 takes place in 87, Michael is fired for being odorous, which he can't have been if he's not a walking zombie, thanks to the events of Sister Location. So sometime in between 85 and 87, Sister Location has what happened.
Would haunt his own corpse. W. Michael.
I mean, William did the exact same thing, so I guess it's genetic.
Complete the weirdest genetic traits that they just haunt their own corpses when they die.
Explain Sister Location to me now.
Just go watch somebody play it.
Remnant.
So basically, in Five Nights at Freddy's Sister Location, Michael is instructed by his father to go into the secret bunker underneath their house, which is where all the Funtime animatronics are. So the Funtime animatronics conception has to be before this, and Elizabeth's death have to be right afterwards.
And
right after the opening of Circus Baby's Pizza, like the day of, she dies.
May I explain what the Funtimes are made to do?
Oh yeah, sure.
The Funtimes all have like this feature in them for capturing and storing children inside of them. And don't some of them have illusion discs in them?
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
So these were the machines that William developed in order to help experiment with how he could bring his son back together. He would use these animatronics in this pizzeria to capture live subjects, bring them to him unnoticed.
Yes, Timmy, a perfect specimen.
Yes. The patient. Go ahead and have a seat.
Little Billy.
So this has to happen after 85. No, after 83, the death of his son.
It's at the bite of 83.
Let's put it in 84, because it should have to have happened before the missing children's incident, because he hasn't killed any children yet. And the Fun Times didn't have enough time to be able to capture a child, so he never actually got to do that. So, Fun Time...
Sad.
Animatronics are...
A little monster.
Conceived.
Stuff him inside of a suit. Who needs
he wants to be
anymore?
one of them. He wants to be
he
one amongst them.
He wants to be a robot. No, take me back. I want to be a robot.
Alright, so Funtime animatronics are conceived. Let's also put...
I don't like the way you say conceived.
Babies.
Reminds me of In the Flesh.
Opens and closes on the same day because of Elizabeth Afton's death. So, let me explain that. So, the Fun Times were designed to capture live children, right?
Mm-hmm.
They were only meant to do it in the privacy of them and one singular child. They weren't allowed to execute that program if there was anybody else around them. So, Elizabeth gets the idea to go up to Circus Baby alone, and it causes her instincts to activate, and she ends up clawing Afton's daughter. However, the process, for whatever reason, turns out fatal. Whether it's because Elizabeth struggled too much, whether it's because there was some kind of faulty design, Elizabeth dies. So, then she goes on to quickly possess Baby, which turns her eyes that were originally blue to green, to mirror Elizabeth's eyes that were green. And this is the point in which William Afton takes notice of how possession works. He gets to witness it full, front view. He gets to witness the possession of his daughter in his own creation.
Firsthand.
And obviously, he's pretty bummed about it because he just had another child die. But
happened again.
He is one step closer to being able to bring his son back, which is the promise he made. So any sacrifice is worth it.
Only the son matters.
Only the son matters. Only the youngest one too. Michael.
Youngest childs be like.
Okay, so Afton discovers... We're gonna put that in quotation marks. Discovers remnant.
Oh my goodness. What is remnant?
Basically, it's like metal that is possessed.
Dead child juice.
Do not call it dead child juice.
Okay. I'll reword it. Soul metal. How about that?
Yeah, pretty much. So it's
Just
not called remnant
metal
until there is a soul actively possessing, like being housed in it as another vessel.
Okay, that makes so much more sense. Why couldn't you just say that earlier?
Because we didn't want to.
Remnant. Remnant. That's why we always say remnant whenever we can't explain anything, because that's pretty much just how it goes.
Okay, so Funtime animatronics, I can see Circus Babies opens and closes on the same day. Elizabeth dies on that day. After discovers remnant shortly later. FNAF's this location has to take place because the Funtime animatronics are, in a sense, decommissioned, and they are sent to the secret bunker underneath William Afton's house, which he then sends his son Michael to go down there and, in a sense, put his sister back together. So, while William works on bringing the son back together, he instructs his other son, Michael, to help free his sister. That kind of happens. He, in a sense, did set her free, but it's not how any of the two gentlemen anticipated. So
much to Michael's detriment.
Do you want me to spoil FNAF Sister Location for you?
He ain't playing it.
Well, he can watch Markiplier play it.
Okay, I mean the ending is really fun to watch.
Yeah,
it's a cutscene.
I'll let him choose. It's a very interesting ending, and I promise you'll enjoy it a lot more seeing it rather than just having me tell you about it. So this is your chance now. Do you want me to explain it to you, or are you okay with just moving on from here?
I'm okay with moving on. I kind of want to see it.
All right. Sounds good.
I want to explain it.
Shut up. You can tell it to him all you want after he watches somebody.
Yeah, we'll get
he'll need explanations afterwards anyways.
When we get there.
He'll need explanations afterwards anyways. I guess it's fine.
Alright, so FNAF 6 location has to be the first game, not FNAF 2. That happens around here, shortly
Yes.
after.
The best character must be odorful.
He must be smelly. So in between 87 and 93, nothing really happens, so FNAF 1 takes place, Michael gets fired, William dismantles the animatronics and gets spring-locked. Now, we get to move... Oh, wait. We need to establish the fact that Henry got arrested.
Why'd Henry get arrested?
Because nobody could catch William. He's too good.
Yeah, it's like when one of our friends, a certain one I'm not going to mention here, is playing video games and then leaves us to clean up all of his problems.
I
We all know who I'm talking
I
about.
can already just taste the name
Who
on the
could
tip of
that
my
be?
tongue.
Who
Alright.
could it be?
So this has to happen after 85, after the MCI, after Charlie dies, after the DCI. So we're gonna put it in between. We're gonna put it in 1988. So basically, William Afton disguised himself as the Spring Bonnie character every time he kills children. So even the security cameras don't really know it's him. So there was no physical evidence to prove that William was the killer. Not to mention the fact that he just had 2 of his own kids die. The police turn their attention towards Henry, so Henry is convicted of the crimes he did not
But
commit.
Henry's kid died.
Yes, but William had 2, so he beats him.
Ooh, the trump card.
Some trump card, that is.
2 dead children.
Crimes. So
My dead children
Henry
trump your
is then
dead children.
sentenced to presumably about 40 years, about 30, I don't know. We don't know. I don't know why this is purple. I don't want it to be purple. We'll make it pink.
For your sake, this video better get a lot of views because I need to
Right?
think for this.
If it doesn't, I'm just gonna abuse the both of you.
No! Not back to the sweatshop.
Please, guys, to anybody watching this video right now, we need you to hit 5,000 likes,
No,
or else
don't
I
make
will
me take
subject
that
these
to
two
the
to
sweatshop.
nightmare gas.
No, please.
And probably whip out the belt a few times. Who knows?
Not again. Not again,
Not
please.
again.
Okay, go back.
Alright, so Henry is sentenced to prison for an undetermined amount of time, but this explains why Henry is out of the story for a long period of time. This also gives him plenty of time to realize and connect the dots that William killed his child and everyone else, because he's the only other person who could physically have been able to do it. So this is the point in the timeline in which Henry knows that William was the one who...
You're telling me
killed
he's
the
the first person to figure out that he's a psychopath.
Well, Michael figured that out the
Yeah,
hard way.
Michael figured that out the hard way a lot
bro's
earlier in the
OG.
timeline, so don't worry about it.
No, we don't worry about
Henry's
Michael.
a bit
He's
slow, but he got here eventually.
Yep.
Alright, so Henry's
don't
in
worry about Michael. He
prison.
can take care of himself.
But it's still important to note that there is no proof that Henry did it either. There is no definitive yes proof that Henry
It's
did the
quite
crimes
literally
himself.
just the fact that he lost 2 kids
Yeah,
on
pretty
William's
much.
part.
Pretty much.
Bro was spared by the death of his kids. That's wild.
I mean, the kids that he killed, technically.
I mean, his animatronics killed, but
Yeah.
yeah, he killed.
Yeah, indirectly. Alright, so Henry's convicted. Going back to William getting sponge locked.
It's like the trolley prop.
He is stuck there for how long, Alex?
William getting him juiced. Let's see. I don't. You can't ask me for time stuff. I like to know.
Go ahead.
Rotting
Figure it
green.
out.
I want to add the pictures again. I want to start adding the pictures. I'm going to start adding the pictures.
It's not the same without the pictures.
Yeah.
So is he stuck inside now?
Well, for now. So,
Dun 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 dun.
William
dun.
Afton dies in the...
No.
Well,
If something might be
dies,
copyrighted.
kind of, in the Spring Bonnie suit that he originally wore to kill the first set of children and
Well,
the
he
second set
only
of children.
kind of dies,
He sort
always
of
comes back.
maybe probably dies. We don't know for sure.
but he came back anyway. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. So, William's alive and kicking in Five Nights 3. So, a long time between FNAF 1 and FNAF 3. So in that period of time, Fazbear decides to monopolize on the fact that children died in their pizzerias in the past. So they create this elaborate amusement park and this little horror attraction where you walk in, you can see all the memorabilia, you can even get a few jump scares, kind of like a haunted house. And it's also built like a maze too, so.
Using a familiar corpse.
Oh boy. What corpse is that?
The events of the third game, on the first night, they haven't found him yet. So Michael gets a job here at Fazbear's Frights, which is the name of the amusement park, hoping to find his father, because after his sister location, he promised to find his father. Because William kind of went bye-bye a long time ago.
He went to go get the remnant milk.
He went to go get the remnant.
Okay, but question. Are they not on good terms anymore now?
No. Nobody likes William.
What do you think?
I mean, no longer looking for him now that he's dead. I mean, like, now that he's not...
Oh, shoot. Hold on. FNAF 4 happens in between these two. I'm forgetful.
If your dad went to get the remnant milk, would you be happy with him?
What did 2000?
I don't even know what remnant milk is.
Remnant. It's like how in a superhero series, you know, someone would have like the power to bend reality to their whims, or stop time, or you know, anything random like that.
What you're saying is this is time travel now.
They'd be able to produce art.
No, we're not there in time travel yet. That doesn't happen till Into the Pit.
Yeah, I should have said time travel. I'm distracting him.
No. What I'm saying is it's like that excuse, like, oh yeah, it just happened because like time travel and all that, you know.
Yes, yeah, it's like. I mean, Remnant's supernatural, so you can pretty much just say everything. Why is that animatronic floating? Remnant.
Exactly. It's when writers are getting paid too much. Let me introduce you to a new concept. The multiverse. Let me introduce you to a new concept. The multiverse.
The multiverse of madness.
The multiverse of lobotomy. Lobotomy Kaizen, I mean, we're mixing the references. Someone has to stop crossing the streams.
Alright, so this location, FNAF 2, we already know where that
crossing
happens.
Streams, crossing feet.
FNAF 1, FNAF 4. Okay, so before we jump into FNAF 3, FNAF 4, right? This is Michael in a new house, separate from, like, the mini games. Shoot. Okay, so in FNAF 4, right, you spend your nights surviving against the animatronics that are definitely in your house. But, in between those nights, you play
so it's the illusion disc, and they're not in your house.
You play these cutscenes, right? And the cutscenes depict events that happened way earlier in the timeline, somewhere around 883. So these cutscenes reveal the Bite of 83 and all that. So the cutscenes take place here, which kind of shows the past. The present of Five Nights at Freddy's 4 happens in, I'm guessing, 2000. I honestly have no idea. There's no way to tell. There's a lot of time between these two. And so the Bite happens in 83, but the gameplay of FNAF 4 is Michael reliving the traumatic past that he had when his father was still around and abused him by using the nightmare gas to make him see things that weren't there. So he's just kind of experiencing the memories there in the gameplay. And he's not having fun. It's important to note that the layout of the house when playing in FNAF 4 is different from the house we see in the flashbacks of the game that takes place in 83. So that's the main way to distinct the two. The fact that the houses are completely different. What else? Anything else you want to add on FNAF 4, Alex?
I don't really think so. Isn't there like some Easter eggs that appear every now and then? Like, what did they call them? Those stands in hospitals where you put bags on them?
Yeah. The IV stand.
Yeah.
So yeah, Michael can occasionally see in FNAF 4, he can occasionally see in Easter eggs the items that they would use to help keep his brother alive in the hospital. You could see a pot of flowers by the bed, an IV stand, and sometimes a bottle of pills. Just kind of reinforcing the idea that this is actually him just reliving memories in the present, and nothing taking place there is technically real, but it is also kind of real to the extent in which the nightmare animatronics can cast shadows and reflections, which is a very, very touchy subject.
Shadows, no. Let's not get into shadows today.
Alrighty. So, FNAF 4 happens in between 1 and 3. But now that we've established the gameplay and the history in FNAF 4, let's go back to Fazbear's Frights. So Fazbear's Frights is the amusement park and the haunted house, and Michael gets a job there hoping to find his father, who he's been looking for ever since he disappeared in FNAF 1 and here. So, on the first night of Five Nights at Freddy's 3, nothing happens. It's very uneventful. Michael is a little disappointed, but then in the night 2, Phone Dude, who is not Phone Guy, he's the different guy, Phone Dude tells Michael that they found one, a real one. And by a real one, he means a real Springlock animatronic. The Springlock animatronic. They found his father. They unsealed him from the wall. They moved him to Fazbear's Frights. And now, Michael has officially fulfilled his promise. He has found his father. So for the next 4 nights, they have the most absolutely uneasy relationship imaginable. They are trapped in a game of cat and mouse, where Michael is trying to keep his father away from him so that he wouldn't freaking kill him. So yeah, he spends that time surviving while also being haunted by his own past, Michael's own past, with the animatronics. So it's important to note that Springtrap is...
kill each other now, though?
What?
Like, are Michael and Afton trying to kill each other? Because I know Afton's trying to kill Michael, but is Michael trying to kill Afton?
Yes. Yes, and that'll all become evident very, very later. But first, I need to explain the phantoms.
I was helping him in FNAF 1.
Well, obviously, because he was abused. He was essentially fear-mongered into helping his father. So obviously, he would have hated him the whole time, but he wouldn't actually go against him.
And I doubt he even fully hated him. There might have been a small part of him that still loved his dad and wanted to think that he was right.
Yeah, still wanted to believe that his father was the loving man that he had known before the bite of 83. But oh well. What was I gonna say? Phantoms, right? So
W. Michael.
How there are phantoms in FNAF 3, right? Are you familiar with that term?
Watermelon animatronics.
So basically, William is the only physical animatronic that appears there, but during the nights of FNAF 3, your character, Michael, will see phantoms of the old animatronics. The old Freddy, the old Chica, the old Mangle animatronic from FNAF 2, and Balloon Boy from FNAF 2, and the puppet from FNAF 2.
He just said who's Mangle.
What?
He just asked who Mangle was.
No, I don't explain Mangle! Oh, okay. So basically, the Mangle is Toy Foxy, but like, it was turned into a take apart, put back together attraction for toddlers. I cannot even explain.
Disrespectful.
Yeah, I cannot explain it any further than that. I cannot explain the morality. I cannot explain the logicalism behind it. They just let toddlers touch the robots and take it apart and put it back together. I have no idea why. So basically, Mangle is like this messed up endo creature with the original Toy Foxy head, but like everything else is
I know what you're talking about now. I've seen a picture of it.
Oh, you've seen it? Okay.
Let's hope it wasn't the fan art.
It was not fan art.
Okay, he's good. He's safe.
Good. Yeah, that's just reserved for me. So Phantom So it's important to note that Mangle, the puppet, and Balloon Boy all appear in FNAF 2. And Freddy, Chica, and Foxy all appear in FNAF 1. So, this confirms that it is Michael playing because he has to have seen both the characters from FNAF 1 and FNAF 2 to be able to see them again in FNAF 3, but as, like,
They're not
illusions.
real, though, are they?
What?
They're not real, are they?
No, they're not real, but Michael sees them as real.
They're like phantoms, you know.
Yeah, they're
bad
like phantoms.
visions.
They're like kind of there, but also they don't really exist technically because, you know. Phantoms.
As far as game mechanics go, they just kind of jump scare them.
Yeah.
And then that's it.
But yeah, the only physical animatronic there is William Afton. So they're both trying to kill each other, and at the end of night 6, at the end of night 6, Michael fulfills that end of the bargain and burns down Fazbear Frights to the ground with his father in it.
But he always comes back, so it doesn't matter.
He always comes back.
Oh, Cyber, your mic is really quiet all of a sudden. Can you?
Yeah, right. I noticed. He's on max volume for me, so I cannot
literally
physically
whispering.
turn him. I could not hope to turn him up any more.
Sorry, is this any better?
Yes.
Yeah, that's a little better. Can
Thank
you do it
you.
again, but a little more? I need
Okay.
to be able to hear you more.
It's just like you're completely silent.
Yeah.
Better.
Yep.
Yep.
That's pretty good.
It's
Okay,
hard to
so
hear your questions when it sounds like this.
FNAF 3 also burns to the ground. William Afton always comes back. What else can
That's
we put
Spring Daddy for you.
here? To be honest, I don't really think we could add much more to FNAF 3. That's pretty much the whole thing. Oh yeah, Happiest Day. Happiest Day.
Oh, well, yeah. About to move on. Forgetting Happiest Day. Whoops.
So, in FNAF 3, Michael has the option of performing specific interactions with various objects of memorabilia in the place, in the haunted house. When interacting with said objects, he is... I don't know how to explain it, but I'm just going to explain it in the perspective of the game as a game.
Say Remnant.
So, you, the player, are dropped into this little arcade-like mini-game where different animatronic characters would go around and try to deliver cakes or collect balloons, but then they would always find their exit. However, by playing these games in a very specific way, by glitching through walls, by finding secret areas, these characters can reach the souls of the children from the original MCI incident. You can find them. Sorry, I had to collect my thoughts there. Happiest Day is not canon. I just remembered.
Okay.
And I will still finish explaining it anyway, but just know that Happiest Day does not actually happen. This is the alternative good ending to Five Nights 3.
We don't have good endings here.
Yeah, no good endings here. Okay, back to it. So throughout the course of the game, you interact with special objects. Objects take you to the arcade games. You play these arcade games in bizarre ways to allow your player character to find the missing children, incident children. You deliver cake to them. Then on the final night, you interact with another object, a Shadow Bonnie object, mind you, which represents spring locks and the Bonnie suit itself. And then this is where I get into the theory territory. My guess is that Shadow Bonnie in the last minigame is William himself trying to rectify for his mistakes. Because Shadow Bonnie is the character you play as in the last game, and that is the one that delivers cake to the last child. And since the bunny is purple and it is a rabbit, both of which are assumed with William Afton, I assumed that was William rectifying for his mistakes. Like, kind of cleaning it up, tying a nice little bow on the story. He actually...
Essentially, everyone's released in this ending.
Yes, including William. In this ending, he does not
come
back. He does not always come back. Unfortunately...
Does Michael just stay as walking corpse in that ending? Are we just going to assume that he lives the rest of his life?
Yeah.
Poor guy. He doesn't even get his body back. He doesn't even die in peace.
Yeah, that's why I say it's not exactly the good ending, because like there are still a lot of unresolved plot threads, like Baby, Ennard, the DCI.
Spaghetti
It's
conglomeration
not
of animatronics from Sister Location.
Yep.
Also
and
known
when
as Ennard.
the children are put to rest, as well as the puppet, then there is absolutely no way, unless Happiest Day is canon, and it's telling us the events of the setting the souls of the DCI free, or are the DCI the ones that end up in Molten Freddy?
I guess we're not really including Security Breach in this timeline, are we? So we could talk about
that's a different universe. That's a different universe. Everything after Ultimate Custom Night is a different universe, game-wise.
I feel like the Blob could hint sort of towards what happened. Okay.
I don't even want to hear that. I don't even want to hear that name. I don't even want to hear that word.
You know how I feel about the multiple universes thing. It's too much.
I don't care. It's a lot better than shoving every story on the same timeline. Would you really like this universe to have Vazgoo? Is that what you want?
No. I wouldn't like it to have in the flesh either.
Okay, so anyway, I do want to say we may need to wrap this up soon because my dad said I do have to get off at 12 tonight, so...
We can go ahead and wrap it up now. And like, Alex and I could spend the next few minutes debating whether Happiest Day is actually canon or not, because that is actually very questionable.
It's probably not canon. Then we have Pizzeria Simulator's ending. How would that interact with the Happiest Day minigame?
Yeah, right. That's my biggest problem, because like 5 children are set free in Happiest Day.
And then
Happiest Day canonicity is questionable. If we are to assume that it is canon, then it has to be the DCI, because the MCI are the ones that end up in Molten Freddy. Molten Freddy burns in Pizzeria Simulator, setting those souls free. So in order for everybody to be set free, Happiest Day does have to be canon, but it includes the DCI. But that can't be the case, because the children in Happiest Day are wearing masks of the original animatronics, means that they have to possess the bodies of them, means that they have to be the MCI. So the MCI are essentially set free twice, and the DCI are just kind of left to frick around the world, I guess?
They came back, Animatronics Part 2, Electric Boogaloo.
Unless the children of the DCI didn't possess any animatronics,
okay, hold on,
bodies were never stuffed in the animatronics, that eliminates the problem. The DCI children were never actually possessing anything, so they were just children that just died. And that's it. Okay, that works. That works.
Now that we're done to...
can still be possibly canon. We will put that in question marks. Yes,
potential.
Yes, Cyber. Yes, Cyber.
Wrap up time, so I can go.
Yeah, sure. All right. Okay, canonicity of Happiest Day. Alex and I settled on the idea that it is canon, but it only freed parts of the MCI's souls. So, in the Five Nights at Freddy's universe, it has been established that souls can be split up into multiple parts using...
Now souls are being split?
Fractions, we're doing math.
No, Alex, it's your line. Using...
Remnant.
I hate that line.
Because metal can be split up, remnant can be split up, and so the souls inhabiting the metal can be split up.
Wait, Cyber, I have an explanation for why you hate that line. Remnant.
Time traveling ball pit.
Oh no. Agony.
Charlie, spirit puppet. Freddy 5 Bear at nights. Okay. So, we established that after the Bite of 83, William Afton wanted to experiment on children.
Yes.
Just like me, for real, relatable. So he designs the Funtime animatronics right after there to capture live subjects. He makes them. They are conceived. Circus Babies opens and closes because Elizabeth dies. Afton discovers a remnant.
The more we say it, the more he descends into
I
madness.
gotta move this. I gotta move this backwards a little
Alex,
bit.
you do not want me to descend into madness.
Or do I? I won't know until I find out. Join us. Join
for
us.
a bite. Join us for a bite.
Yeah.
You can be a pirate.
No, I'm not gonna.
Who can be a pirate? Wow, what freaking year is this? We're looking at
Alex.
1986.
But hey, we're not gonna talk about the day that every single sharp object was flying towards my eyes. We're not gonna talk about that. I don't want to relive it, honestly.
Alright. So,
Don't wanna be a
William has to
pirate.
inject Remnant into the fun times before the events of Sister Location, steals parts from the old suit. So, at this point, William Afton knows that the children have possessed the animatronics. So, he has to know that before the events of Five Nights 2, which happens in 1987, around here, like, shortly after Sister Location. So, before Sister Location, he has to inject parts of the remnant from the old animatronics from this game into these guys before the events of Sister Location can take place, because they do have souls, especially Baby. At least... Wouldn't it be interesting if the Fun Times didn't have souls this entire time? And they were just programmed to be obnoxious little turds?
I mean,
That is also a possibility.
yeah.
And it would make a more narrative sense than splitting up the souls and having to save the MCI twice. That would be
I know
something.
for sure I'd program my animatronics to be obnoxious, so
I know for a
feel
fact
like-
I'd be programming my animatronics with human souls.
No, I would.
Common robotics technique that they don't want you to know. The government doesn't want you to know about it.
Secret technique.
Elon Musk is already using it.
Doctors
Behind
hate
the
this
curve.
guy.
Soon we'll be opening up a pizzeria.
No, where they're all Catgirl robots.
Oh, that's awful. But I love it. It's a good idea.
Yeah, it's
We'll look into it
accurate.
later. Accurate.
Elon Musk lore goes hard. Forget FNAF, we're not talking about that anymore.
We're talking about real life FNAF events happening right now.
I can't wait for Scott Cawthon to buy out Chuck E. Cheese so we can turn it into an actual real life Five Nights at Freddy's experience.
I can't wait to get spring locked.
Complete
That'll
with
be
his own
great.
William Afton and everything. He's got to find a very good actor for him. He can't use Matthew
Yeah.
Lillard
And by
because he's
act-
starring in the movies.
I'll
And
get
by
to
actor,
bring
he's
Daddy
gonna
in my
buy the
life.
worst. And by actor, he's gonna buy the worst person out of prison.
You're gonna buy him a fursuit and tell him to get in.
Wander around at Comic-Con for 3 seconds and choose the yellowest furry you can see.
Pikachu!
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 Pikachu, I choose you to run the pizza.
Pikachu,
He's
I
so
choose you to
William
always come back.
No!
Anyways. So that
I'm glad you
happens.
added.
That happens. That happens. That happens. That happens. That happens. I always come back. FNAF 4 then. All the way. Five Nights 3. And then Happiest Day we established should be canon. So what happens after these?
That was this one. 3 was the horror location. That was just basically an attraction with animatronics, but there wasn't actually that many animatronics there. It was like phantoms, but the only actual animatronic there was Afton's.
Yes.
I'm
He
correct.
remembers!
Like-
he remembers!
Like, not just the suit, but like his body in there. Like, if you look under the Springtrap suit, you can still see
Well,
William's
obviously, because he
corpse.
always comes back.
He always comes back.
He always comes back.
Of course.
Exactly.
Even if there's just one atom of his being, he will come back.
It's
Can't
like
wait
the
for
Wolverine.
Five Nights at Freddy's
He'll always
64,
heal.
and we just see William Afton's brain in a jar.
Blub 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 translates directly to Allah. I
He'll
always
use
come
Morse code. I always come back. This is present day, by the way, so we actually missed out on our chance to visit old Springy Boy. But he does make a second appearance. Alex, would you like to help me figure out when Five Nights 6 rolls around? Because I have no idea.
Don't look at me. I don't.
Put in 2026 for now.
Just gonna throw a random number in here.
Anyways, well. Okay. Let's go to...
Oh, dang, that happened in 2023? Why didn't we go there?
We should have gone to see him.
We should have gone to see him. And encourage him to come back, because, you know, maybe he even needs some encouragement sometimes.
Frankly, I don't have the money to go to a FNAF pizzeria, because I'm right now spending all of my money on the Fazbear Frights books, so...
Yeah, that's true. Oh, also, do you still want me to pitch in some of my paychecks to you?
Nah. I have enough to buy them, I just haven't bought them all yet, because... something about spending all of that money at the same time just feels so wrong.
Okay.
I'm gonna grab water while you're placing things on the map.
You and your Badlands Chuck Junior, get out of here.
Are you sure you're not grabbing chocolate milk?
No. That was a targeted attack.
Got me.
I'm gonna go grab
mad. I'm so mad about earlier. Because, like, I thought when I was gonna be there, I thought you were gonna know better. I thought you were gonna relieve Tyson of your obnoxious behavior, but no, you had to be too artistic.
Artistic?
Okay,
oh yeah, that's right. I keep misspelling autistic. Oh yeah. Okay, we're gonna put this one in here. No, no. Ugh. There we go. Check that out. I got his face.
Beautiful.
It's amazing. He's so
just handsome. Handsome mother.
Handsome mother flipper.
Absolutely beautiful.
Tell me how proud you are of me showing restraint. Because you know I wouldn't have said flipper.
You truly are holding back with this one.
You should wait. You should see me. I'm really holding back. I'm holding a lot more than just words back.
Yo.
I keep those hands busy somehow.
I would act like I'm surprised, but I'm not.
You know I got a massive crush on her, don't you? You won't tell her, right? Right?
I don't even
trust
talk
you,
to her.
Right?
If you could trust me with your life. Nah, I'd keep that secret.
Nah, you will? Or nah, you won't?
Yeah, nah, I will.
Okay.
It's like, nah, I'd win. But nah, I will.
Okay, I got you.
The brain rot, it's taken over.
My brain has been rotted. It's nothing but a corpse. My brain will always come back.
My brain looks like Daddy Afton right now. No. If only Cyber were here so that he could scream when I said that.
Deep down, we all have a skeleton inside of us. Unleash your inner skeleton.
What would I scream at?
Deep down, we all have a kidney inside of us. Maybe even two.
What would I scream at?
Deep down, we all have a kid inside of us. The fucking animatronics.
Hey. You have two kids
picture, like, all the fun time animatronics looking so worried at each other, like.
And the dark kid.
What?
Narrator. Yeah. I got chocolate milk just to spite you.
Can you get yourself a treadmill too while you're at it?
Hey!
I'm serious. Anyways,
how many days you go to a gym?
He works a job. That's enough.
Yeah, I literally have a job where I have to go outside, work out, walk like 10,000 steps. I had to hike up the hills both ways for 24 hours a day.
You're not Stephen He.
I will disconnect you from this call. I will ban you from this server if you do not humor my ego.
Humor the man's ego. Go
Just
on.
at least tell me I'm a beautiful Asian man.
Fine.
You're the most glorious Asian man I've
You're an
ever
amazing
seen in my
Asian
life.
man. You really do walk up that hill both ways really well.
Thank you. Alright. Before I start getting emotional, let's recap. So, Five Nights at Freddy's 3 happens around here. So, just like a few... it really doesn't matter how much time has passed afterwards, because in the end, everything still happens. So, I'm just gonna guess.
In the end, he still comes back.
Happens 3 years later. So, I'm gonna add the picture here again because I love seeing it so much. I have to see it. This is peak character design. Okay, so 3 years later, after Fazbear's Frights burns down, Michael is still alive, and so is his father. So that fire killed nobody, and now Michael's looking for his father again, while Daddy Afton is trying to repair his own body because he was still damaged. He made it out, but he's still damaged. So he came out looking like Peanut Jimmy Neutron afterwards. And that's when we get to see him at Pizza Sim. You'll understand when you look at the design, but it's kind of crazy. So we're gonna play...
Crazy?
I was crazy once.
Don't start!
Okay.
Sorry.
You apologizing for it. It was just a joke. I ran over your pet, but it was just a prank, bro.
It's a prank, bro.
It's a prank, bro. She was 13.
My foot slipped on the gas pedal.
She said she was 12.
She said she was 12.
guys.
Every time I see that voice, I think of Tyson saying that. I just imagine
I know. I hear him saying that a lot too. So
guys, please, you're blowing this out of proportion. She wasn't 13. She was actually 9.
no.
She's 9. She's 9. You wouldn't have this with any other guy. And if you ask me how
Not that age gap.
feeling, don't tell me to.
Beautiful. That was beautiful.
This is an amazing performance, don't you think, Alex?
Never gonna make you cry. Never gonna.
Brings a tear to my cold, dead heart. Really, you guys gotta stop calling me nicknames like soulless and heartless.
Just start calling you nicknames like Pookie.
Yeah, I know.
You're one of the boys.
Did
You
you
deserve
say yeah?
to be called Pookie.
Somehow I'm one of the boys, but nobody calls me Pookie. It
I will
hurts
call
me.
you Pookie.
I won't.
So left out. Am I not Pookie material?
Yeah, well, I'm not, so I think you're
Alright.
comfortable with me not calling you that too.
Yeah.
Piper, check it out.
Yeah.
Henry's out of prison. He knows Daddy Afton is the bad guy. He knows he's alive somehow.
I'm calling
So
him
he's
Daddy
our-
Afton, please.
Devising
Okay,
the
I'll call him
plan.
Spring Daddy. Okay.
I'll call him Dad Trap.
Yes. Yes.
So he starts devising the plan. The plan is to lure everybody into the pizzeria simulator and burn them again. With Michael
Again?
there too.
So this one's Afton, right? We're talking about Afton.
What?
We're talking about we're talking about Trap Daddy.
Dead Trap? Yeah. So
Dead Trap.
everybody's gonna be here. So
Yeah,
I
we're
should
talking about
also
Paul
add another event on the bottom. Well, this
I like
actually
Paul
should
Trap.
happen sometime before FNAF 3 or it doesn't really matter when it happens. This is just another one of those events. But basically, did we talk about Ennard with you? Did we tell you about
Who?
Ennard and
A little
who
bit.
that is?
Tell me a little bit. A little bit.
Okay, so basically, Baby and other fun
Trapped
times
animatronics.
split, giving birth to
What about giving birth?
and and Freddy, which we will cover later. But first, we should definitely go back and talk to you about freaking Enter, because I completely forgot another Flippa existed. Which is weird, because he's so crucial to Michael's story. It's insane.
Yeah, it's almost like they were roommates for a really long time.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so actually we may have to just put this in the other timeline. Oh my gosh.
No, we're out of the free trial again.
No, it's not that. I just have to switch. Nope. No. Where'd it go? The parameters. Oh my freaking gosh! I hit the wrong thing again. Okay. Religion. I love that that's an option. It's gonna have to be public, and we can edit now. Don't worry about that. So we gotta go back to part 2. Edit. And we gotta go back to the events of Sister Location. Because right after that, something bad happens.
What happens after Sister Location?
We're gonna put in this one because I can't add any more. Mikhail.
Well, we're gonna describe this in vivid detail.
Just now read this.
Really beautiful story, isn't it?
It's so heartwarming. One could say it makes you jump out of your skin.
I would say it's heartwarming as well, but I think it's actually heart-chilling, considering it would have stopped beating a while ago.
It leaves an empty feeling in my stomach.
I just feel hollow inside, you know?
It just fills me with so much metal.
That was a stretch.
Fills me with so much remnant.
Remnant.
Alright, so what happens during Sister Location is that the Fun Times think that Michael is his father, because I believe I briefly established that Michael looks exactly like his father. The both gentlemen look like Rick Astley. So because of that, the other Fun Times are convinced that Michael is actually his father, William, who's come back to see them. Baby knows better. Elizabeth knows better. She knows that that is actually Michael, and she doesn't really care. She still wants to use his body as a skin suit to escape, because if they looked human, nobody would hunt them down and drag them back into the facility, because that's what they did.
Dang.
Sure, he looks human.
Yeah, he looks human.
He did look human when they scooped him. It wasn't until days later where he became Purple Guy.
When he looked like a raisin.
He literally looked like Thanos if he always skipped arm day. And leg day. And body day. Just
and organs day.
Okay, so they use Michael's body to escape. After a short while, his body begins to decompose and it becomes literally purple. Ennard ejects the robot spaghetti out of his mouth, and he's just a layer of skin just sitting on the sidewalk. But his sister reminds him, because she knows about Remnant, he won't die. So he doesn't. He literally gets back up. No bones, no organs, no tissue. He just gets back up, and he's alive.
So he always comes back now?
I mean, that's just
he always comes back also. Like father, like son. What a heartwarming
must be
story.
Genetic, but it
Maybe
skips like every other kid.
Maybe it is genetic. Maybe that's why it works so well. Alright, so now that we've established who Ennard is, the amalgamation of Baby and the other Fun Times, we can go back to where they split up. sometime after sister location and injecting themselves out of Michael's hot skin body. And we can go back to
Everything he says is true, though.
Yeah.
Can't deny it.
I am the best lore keeper of Five Nights at Freddy's. Anyways, so Baby and the other Fun Times split. They create Scrap Baby, who is just Baby, and Molten Freddy, which is all the other Fun Times, and presumably carries the other remnants of all the souls of the MCI, the original Missing Children's Incident characters. Please, when you get the chance, watch somebody play Pizza Sim, because it's a really freaking good game, and the ending is spectacular. Like, peak writing. It is a peak storytelling in this game, so I won't spoil too much about the game, but I will still tell, like, key events, like it burned down and all that.
I haven't actually seen, like, a lot of the story bits. I've just kind of seen the beginning of the game. But I've seen some gameplay. It looks like a fun game.
It is a really fun game, actually. I love it. It is my favorite game in the franchise, actually. Okay, so FNAF 6 happens. Henry sets fire to the place, setting the souls of everyone free, including himself. So Henry, Michael, William, the MCI, Charlie, Baby, and I think that should be everybody. Everybody's set free.
Then shouldn't that have been the end of the series?
It should have been, but then Scott made an epilogue.
Of course he did.
No way! That pretty much kind of puts the bow on the series, actually.
We did it.
That's pretty much the end. Except Ultimate Custom Night. So
we did.
Let's actually add this.
That's part of the lore too.
Can we even add one?
Hold on, I'm gonna remove this one and combine these two. So let's get rid of this one. How do I delete? So, Ultimate Custom Night. So basically, Ultimate Custom Night. This is the epilogue series of the Five Nights at Freddy's franchise.
Your stream closed.
Yeah, I know. That was very intentional.
Why?
It was very intentional. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, Cookie. So basically, Ultimate Custom Night, once everybody dies, William Afton is technically not dead, because he always comes back. So William is stuck in this sort of like purgatory space between life and death, and he's just experiencing all the worst things he's ever done. Like, all the animatronics from the past are attacking him all at once. It's like 50-20 mode every single time for him, canonically. And he has to try to relive Michael's worst memories as the night guard, and like try to survive from like 50 animatronics all at once. And they always like tear him apart when they get him. They bite his head off, they decapitate him, they rip his organs out, they
do this all again.
Blah blah blah.
One time
do
to
it
me.
over and over and over again.
But why?
That's basically his fate, because he's in purgatory, and they just do that. They're like his demons. Some kid-friendly, family-friendly series. I love this.
So you're telling me Michael has to relive everything he's done?
No, William's reliving everything
my bad.
Is done.
What is
like,
Michael
Michael is free. Like he's good. He's like heaven status. He's fine. William's technically like in purgatory or hell or whatever.
You think he's in purgatory? But then why would we say W Michael? Bro's the hero.
Ah yes, W Michael.
The hero. So that's basically the OG series.
Wait a minute. Does he come back?
Technically, yes, but...
Yes! He always comes back!
Technically, no.
Oh,
That's where the modern Five Nights at Freddy's timeline kicks in.